Thank you, Zach, and thank you, Brandon. I'm going to read 3 poems from a project I'm working on. Is the sound okay? From a project I'm working on that is a mashup of the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin, Making of Americans by Stein, and the history of one Philadelphia neighborhood. And altogether, they are my Frankenstein. I wish I had a complete record. On the corner of Wayne, once a man, and Winneva, once Loudon, was a lot, once a building. A grassy lot in place of a brick building, with brick porches on a brick road for firm footing. The building was named for a street named for no one, a name given without regard to the old world, the Winneva. Before the building was a lot, it was a vacant, a place to buy drugs or to squat. Before it was a squat, it was Section 8 housing or a hotel, and before it was a hotel, it was apartments, where couples, like my parents, could hold wedding receptions, and none of this is recorded on the internet. To search. Sometimes what we come to know is what is lost after others don't care to know it. This lot, once a squat, is coming to mean something about what records get recorded. I sit down to write them for you, to make that recollection as durable as possible by putting it down in writing. Someone who lives across the street from the lot, once a squat, doesn't want to talk to me about it. She's happy it's gone. She's safer it's gone. She wants to talk to me about the playground across the street. The hollow, once a quarry. Maybe the city's first playground. Happy Hollow. Someone who lives across the street from the lot, once a squat, once a garden, not guns in the hollow, once a quarry, but everything is a struggle. Maybe she heard the shots that killed Vincent Parsons when police chased him through the hollow on Good Friday. Someone said they weren't supposed to open fire in a playground. Someone said we cleared the area of children first. The lot, once a squat, leaves behind few records. Someone who doesn't want to talk to me about it tells me where I can find a picture of it. Get the picture to exist, to make real this thing in pieces to me. A file folder on the 5th floor of City Hall contains a record. Pieces of perhaps a whole one. The record says that the repeated cutting up of a building into smaller units shows a history of a neighborhood's inability to create housing for people who don't own homes, to be in pieces in repeating the whole one. The record says that after years of no heat and open fires, the building was unfit for habitation. It says its frail and elderly tenants, including the building owner's mother, refused to leave. Building it up by little pieces, the record says the building lacked distinction. It says the Winneva is no Alden Park. The pink building like a castle, like a cake off the Wissahickon where my parents had their wedding reception. Always there in pieces then, pieces of a record on a table to make real this thing, hedges and vestibules, a moldy, pissy brick smell, the vague fear that comes from all the unprotected surface of her. This lot, once a squat, is coming to mean something about what records are kept in the body. Like the body of a builder, the son of a bricklayer, a builder of brick buildings who built the Winneva in 1911, a builder who went missing in 1915. He went missing in a gray suit and straw hat. The police searched and searched for the smooth-shaven builder who suffered from overwork, who suffered from a nervous condition. They searched until they found his body in a creek not far from another brick building he had built. They will exist even when they won't, or this then will be a description of that thing. Before the street wasn't named for anyone. It was named for a house, named for a place, named for a person, named Loudon. A house on a hill, a house where no one lived, a house without a story the few have told, a house with no history, a house with some history, a house with no particular history, but is picturesque and ancient. Long before it was a house without a story, Loudon was a house full of people with names repeating like things like family and built for a merchant named Armat, who had things like streets named after him. Armat had children named Sarah and Jane. Sarah was not of sound mind. She spoke in broken sentences. It was difficult for her to form sentences. It was difficult for her to form ideas. She would put a finger in the corner of her eye and utter some ideas she had formed. When she came of age, her father's father, who shared her name, and a man named Scarrett, took her money away. When Jane came of age, she married her cousin, who shared her name, but who died like her father, so she married Scarrett, a banker who liked to buy furniture. Together they bought lots of furniture for their house in the country named Loudon. Then Jane and Scarrett had a daughter named Anna, who married a man whose father's father's father was a Logan. The Logan who knew so much about books, he told Ben Franklin which books to put in his library. And the two of them together, Anna and the Logan, were not very happy. He left her alone, and she kept track of the days he left her alone with the children, the days he left her for drink or the maid. Then she left him, and she kept all her money. She left him and got some of his. Somehow she managed this. He must have been a monster. And after the two of them died, two of their children lived in the house without talking. And they took pictures of all of their things. They took pictures of their parlor and the bedroom and the fireplace and the hemlock. They took pictures of the hickory and their specimen marble table. They took pictures of their paintings, their chairs, and of their chandelier. They took pictures of their dog named Beautiful Witch. Then the last living one of the family, whose name she no longer had, died. Then the last living one, named Maria, gave her house to the city. She gave her house to the city where it sat with its things and its pictures of things, the galloons and the fringe, the socks and the sheets and the shoes. After Maria died, there was a war. And a distant relation, a Logan, who liked the histories of things like family and houses, used the house to collect things for the war. This distant relation liked her family's place in history. She liked things. And she and the lady she invited to the house collected things in the house for the war. Then the war ended, and the house and its things went back to their sitting. Then a woman arrived, a woman in pearls, a woman looking for a cause, who redecorated, who moved things around the house as she liked. She liked the people who had used all the things. She liked Anna so much she took her diary. She took the diary where Anna describes her husband and what he did to her. She took the diary that Anna wrote in French like a code. She took the diary and hid it, and no one knows where it is. This woman, this friend, invited people to the house, but people rarely came. The people nearby didn't care for the house or its things. The people far away didn't care for the people nearby. So people didn't come, and the house sat with its things, with its harp in the window, and the galloons and the fringe in the attic. It was around this time that I came to know the house, not its people. I came to know the house as a house on a hill without a history, without people. A house in a park where my siblings looked for their things after their things were stolen by thieves. And the house became increasingly vulnerable. Its caretakers wrote about break-ins, about people tearing bricks from its lovely brick walk, about ripping up bricks and throwing them. The caretakers wanted protection from vandals, from thieves, the neighbors. They wanted money for pendants they could wear around their necks. They wanted pendants that would transmit their panic. They wrote letters describing it, about a situation one can't understand unless one is associated with it. Then later the house was struck by lightning that caused a fire. Many things are believed to have been destroyed in the fire. Some things remain in places unknown. Some things remain in archives and are documented. Some of the things that remain are portraits. Of the family, a portrait of Anna, a sampler, and a folding needle case, a friendship needle pin cushion, plates, tongs, a saucer with a figure holding a sword, 3 cans and a saucer, a sauce boat, a small teacup with saucer, a soup plate. Soup plate, cup and saucer, 2 plates and a bowl. 2 cups and a saucer, a bowl with flour swags, a plate broken in half and repaired. Soup bowl, a soup bowl broken in 2 pieces, a charger, a shell-shaped dish, a round scalloped-edged bowl, a deep scalloped bowl, an oval dish with scalloped edge. Sauce tureen, and matching ladle, saucer for a sauce tureen, footed bowl or compote. Dog figurine, a cream pitcher. Charger, silhouette pistol. A box of assorted marble samples. A silhouette of a lady with hair ribbons. one specimen marble table, and a Grecian wine cup, a skyphos, from the second half of the 4th century BCE.